Hello, chat and stream. We're here. I know everyone's been waiting eagerly in chat. um, I should probably bring up. Have on the ready. Hello and good day. Whenever I hear someone say good day, I always think of, I think it was King's Quest 8, where the very first, I think one of the first lines was, good day, Prince Alexander. That's how the whole thing started. I played it so many times, and perhaps restarted near the beginning so many times that stuck with me in my into my adult life.
I just remember playing a King's Quest game when I was a kid and trying to call the hint line and having my parents get mad.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Because it cost.
Oh, right. I forgot all about that. Yeah, the hint line.
Back in the day, we didn't have internet for our video games.
Yeah.
We had to do things the old-fashioned way, pay by credit card over a payphone.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And to get to that payphone, we had to walk uphill both ways in 10 feet of snow.
Yep.
So true. Yeah. Always had to keep change in your pocket. Just in case. Let's see. All right, I've got my notes. I think we're good to go. So for a recap, let me find OBS here so I can see y'all. Yeah, that's probably what I should do. I should probably just unpin this and watch you guys on that. All right. Yes, last episode. Whew, sort of a resolution episode for the most part. Not entirely. After completing the deal, the party did their side of the work in clearing out and checking out the uncovered tomb at the bottom of Sandradia's chasm. Down there, they discovered some shadow monsters and some other baddies, a lot of mummified people, so their spirits that were tethered, and sorry, it's super loud in my headset. No, you're fine. You're fine. I distract so easy, and I'm like, thanks, thanks, Sam.
Trying to get rid of all the bad luck.
Nice.
It's not working.
Oh no. And ultimately facing a mummy-ish creature with a massive skull, maybe 2-3 times the size of what the body should have supported, with giant rubies for eyes. They destroyed the device tethering the spirits. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that skull,
yeah.
Since I wasn't here last week, I wanted to make a check to see if I could maybe recognize what race the skull was from, see if it belonged to the body.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
can I do that?
Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead and do. I guess probably history check to kind of compare it to other races you would be aware of. Yeah.
Okay. Nope.
Nice. Yeah, it's a strange skull. Humanoid certainly, but nothing you've seen before. Which is now stuffed in Kaylin's backpack as she walks through the port and stuff. Yeah.
Maybe I can take a closer look at it later.
The party received their papers to use the port of Bexley and get out of Dodge, so to speak. They decided to take the first ship out, which was meant to leave that night, but had been postponed till early the next morning. I think it was 5 a.m. the next morning. And hey, Dark Searchman. Hey. Yes. Only to have the same brands that the skull as they killed the zombie skull creature, the body dropped, the skull called out some sort of nasty, not a curse, but spoke to everyone saying he wasn't going to forget them and there's going to be some form of retribution. And these strange runic symbols appeared in the air and stamped onto the skull itself. Later that day, as the party was in the port city getting ready to rest for the night, they each felt a searing pain different locations for everybody on their body, only to find that same runic symbol that matched the one he when he spoke their name now on their bodies. And that's where we wrapped up. Parties outside of the tavern inn at the port.
Could you remind us, me, where that symbol was?
I'm pretty sure you got Ormia has hers on her butt cheek.
Oh,
But you
okay,
can pick
thanks.
left or right if you want to make it canon.
It's where the tramp stamp goes.
Nice, yeah. Cool. Yeah, so I'll let you guys pick it up from there. Outside of the tavern slash inn, and
So
go ahead.
is this pain like the sharp pain? Is it burning pain? Is it
Mm-hmm. It
okay?
feels like fire, like a brand being branded.
Okay, in that case, I jump in the water.
Okay. um, the pain doesn't subside immediately as you might hope in water, but it does subside and leave you for the most part with just a dull ache, as with everybody, after maybe a minute or so, a couple minutes.
Hmm. I guess I'll pop my head up to the rest of the party and not actual fire was present.
Okay.
That didn't work.
Well, good to know.
If we were
Thank
to
you
look
for
at it, I
testing
think
that out.
you said it, mine was on like my left bicep. Does it look still fresh, or does it look like after the burn it's like been there a while? If you know what I mean, does it look fresh, or does it look like the burn area?
Oh, gotcha. It looks fresh currently.
Okay.
Yeah, there is some as though the skin has been melted around it a bit, and it's sort of a raw wound.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So like we're talking third degree here. Ouchie. Ugh.
It appears to have like black ink or black substance of some sort that makes this complex runic symbol, but yeah, there's also fleshy bits mixed in.
Lovely.
Delightful.
Dan, could you remind us of what's around this port area?
Sure. Oh yeah, let me bring up the map too. It's a good idea. There is the standard buildings are down there. It's pretty small for a port. It has an adventuring store. The main, it seems like a warehouse of sorts where you met the dockmaster. And let me pull up the map here as well. Oops, wrong thing. No, not the wrong thing. Bexley Port. Okay, let's add that over here. Yay. Okay. Try and resize this. And then there's an inn slash tavern at the just the top left building, very top leftmost building in the Bexley Port. There's a number of medium-sized ships and a few smaller ships that seem to row out to there's just a couple. There's one gigantic ship which you were directed to. There are some ships slightly smaller than that anchored out just outside the port with some small rowboats and other smaller ships that seem to go out to those ships and back to the dock. Still pretty hot temperature-wise and muggy, but it's pretty late. It's like 10:30 or so at night. Starry sky, nice clear skies.
Well, this lovely night is ruined.
Oh man, I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna try to just sleep off this wound here. I'm pretty confident that it has something to do with that tomb that we were in, but I'm too tired to deal with it right now.
I couldn't remember in the last one. Did Kaylin look at the skull when we started getting the brands in it? Was it showing any sign of like activity at all?
Somebody had looked. I can't recall
Okay.
who, but there weren't any signs. I think it was Caitlin.
Okay.
It seemed completely inert.
Okay, cool. Then I agree with Felix, and I'm gonna go to the bit.
Okay.
Can I take a little bit to look closer at the skull? Try to.
Sure. If you're looking for magic, you can do an Arcana check. Otherwise, you can do just like an investigation to see if there's something in particular you're looking for, or perception if you're just doing a once over.
Yeah, I think I'll do investigation
Okay.
to see. Yeah, just investigation.
Okay. You don't. Aside.
Oh wait, have we had a long rest yet? Have we leveled up yet?
You
Technically,
have your HP, but no, you haven't had the long rest yet for the.
so that should be a 14.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because
Oh, right, for the skill.
I don't have my jack of all trades yet.
Gotcha. Still, it appears to be. I mean, aside from its size and the odd shape to it, the unfamiliar shape, there really doesn't seem to be anything that looks out of the ordinary. Aside from seeing, those same runic symbols, complex runic symbols stamped and etched in almost the same manner on the skull, but they do match the runic symbols on each person's body. Everyone has their own different one.
Can I find the one that's mine and tap it?
Yeah, sure.
Do I feel it like an echoing tap on mine?
No, you hear a little bit of a hollow echo on the inside of the skull.
Okay, so it's not like a voodoo doll sort of thing. Worth a check.
Yes.
All right. I'll give it back to Kaylin. Go to sleep.
She takes it and puts it in her backpack. As you guys head over to the inn tavern, you're just outside of it now. There aren't too many people here. You get the feeling, given your experience, that they don't let anyone and everyone use the port. But there is a bit of a rowdy sounds coming from inside. It's a tavern as well. It's fairly dark, and as you approach, you see an old woman, little halfling, um, stand up. She's leaning over by some buckets, and I would say, yeah, probably nothing yet. So a small halfling woman, gray, scraggly hair, lifting herself up with a cane, with some sort of dark ink or something on her face. It's kind of tough to tell in the dark. Starts making a beeline over for Astrid. And I'm just going to check your passive perception, Astrid, which I can't do on that one because that's the player of Fantasy Grounds.
I think it's 14.
14. Okay. Yep. Nice. Okay. So you notice her sort of making a hurried beeline over to you, cane clinking, clink, clink, clink.
I just kind of take a bit of a defensive stance.
Okay.
Just out of instinct.
Nice. All right. She stops. Now mind you, she's still about 35 feet away or so. She was over near the entrance, and she stops. And you see her kind of lean down and pick something up off the ground.
Can I try to see what that was?
Sure. Go ahead. Make a perception check.
Because are we all there, right?
You're all yes. Mm-hmm. And you have dark vision. Nice.
I see
Yeah.
it so hard.
It looks like she picked up a pebble, at your best guess.
Okay.
And Astrid, go ahead and make a quick, I guess it'd be a dexterity saving throw. As a pebble flies, she seems to flick it or something, and it comes careening at you. It's a little tiny pebble, but... Okay, 14. You very easily just sort of, give it a backhanded block out of the way.
I was sort of around. That was really cool.
Nice. You flick it out of the way, and in the time it took your hand to go across your eyes to block this, she's about 2.5 feet away in front of you, away from in front of your torso.
Oh my
Um,
god.
Make another quick dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
And everyone else is going
going
to
on?
see, yeah, sort of in a moment.
I don't think. Do we even have time to react other than ooh?
Oh yeah.
Nice. So suddenly she releases this flurry of blows that you sort of like Neo in the Matrix. You're just sort of like, psh, 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 smacking back away one at a time. Um, and then again, with the passage of a hand and a block, she's probably about 15 feet back, given space, cracking a bit of a smile.
Okay.
You don't feel. Now, normally when you block, it doesn't hurt, but you feel, the strike that you just blocked and knocked away. There's no sensation of
Okay.
physical contact. But you do feel sort of like a light heat in the spots that you blocked her strikes away.
Okay. I'm gonna take like 5 steps forward, kind of like
She
give her a
leans on you.
nod, and then go into a fighting stance.
Her grin gets a little wider. She
What?
takes a second.
What's going on? Does anybody know what's going on?
Must be a friend of Astrid's.
The old woman, looks again. She's like a tiny, elderly halfling. So she kind of looks up at the rest of the party, sort of side to side with Astrid in the center, just to see if they're, going to, give some room or how they're going to.
I hold my hand up to my colleagues and just say, just give me a second. And I take a few more steps forward.
Neat.
Oh.
Okay.
Emil melts into the shadows a bit.
Nice. All right. What I'm going to do then is use the wrong fantasy grounds again. All right, let's go over here. And then, you know what, we'll do it Theater of the Mind. Okay, so go ahead and just make a attack, any type that you want.
Okay. 1 second. Okay. Do my hand axe, I think.
Nice. Okay. You flip up, your hand axe and give it a rotation or two in the air and catch it and come across.
But I don't want to come across with the blade. I want to
okay.
hold it. So if I were to hit her, it would be with like the blunt thing. I don't want to like slash her.
Okay. Nice. Use your you almost sprint next to her and go to strike her on the side of the right behind her joint back here. Boom. And as you do, you feel the impact, but given your fighting prowess, you can feel that she's actually rolling with it a bit too. Sort of an advanced move to not take as much damage as she would normally take. But go ahead and make a damage roll too.
Okay.
Nice. Okay, you're like, yeah, this isn't a thing. Nice. And with that, she spins around. She uses that momentum to come back around with the back of her elbow to try and get you, to strike you in the back of the head. And she's just going to do this. Okay. Does a 16 hit?
I think that's my armor class, so yes, it does.
Okay. Oops. All right. So she's just going to do this. She sucks. But that adds a. Okay. So she does 5 points of damage.
Okay.
And it just sort of knocks you for a minute, but it segues. It just jumps right back into your turn. Your reaction to that.
Okay. I
Anybody
feel
else?
like
come from
Astrid would
Upward?
just want to fight her instead of trying to talk to her first of all.
Nice. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm just gonna again just with the blunt end of the axe.
Okay. All right. Oh, bummer. That strike. Very nimbly. You feel like you have a lock on her. Um, as you're knocked forward, and you sort of post up and turn around to be ready for the next strike, and again try and strike her in that same spot to do extra damage. But she just rolls underneath it. And for her turn, let's see. Okay, yeah. You can see these rolls, right, that are coming up. I'm trying to do it so you can see them. Or no?
I don't.
I saw like a shadow of it.
Yeah, I can see a
Okay.
shadow.
It's a 17 plus her thing, so.
Oh yeah, that
Um,
hits.
okay. So, she, as you do that, let's see. Oh, yeah, you're trying to strike like this. So she rolls underneath and using two fingers strikes you right under your armpit. Just a poke. And you feel again that really that no physical pain, but that burning. Not it feels like intense heat, not like searing pain like the runic ward or anything, but it's not painful. It's just hot.
Okay.
And then she goes back and guards,
Okay.
just ready for you to strike some more. But you took no damage from that.
Okay. Okay, in that case then, can I put my hand axe away
Mhm.
and do unarmed strikes?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
again, not trying to hurt, almost like a tag. Like
Mhm.
we're playing tag, like I just want to like touch her.
Okay,
instead of-
nice.
Yeah.
She seems giddy. And she just drops. Her cane has long since been discarded. It's over on the ground, like almost like it's just a prop.
I like this lady. How do I roll for that?
You should have. Oh, I hope I put it in there. Let's take a look.
Oh, is it unarmed strike? Is that-
Yes.
is that-
Yeah, there it
oh,
is. Yep, under monk.
cool. So, sorry. So there isn't like a little die by it. So how do I use it? If that makes sense.
I think you should be able to click the magnifying glass. Then you'll see the attack and.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I got it. So.
Yeah.
Oops, let me move this so I can see your. Yeah, that absolutely hits. How do you want to strike her this time?
I kind of just want to, like, really cheekily just kind of give her like a round the head.
Nice. You were so fast with that attack that she didn't quite register for until you pat her on the head and lowers back into her next defense. She
I do
doesn't
the
seem
same.
angry. Yeah, she's just like, oh. Let's see. All right. So she's gotten 10. All right. So I think that you would probably do another. Let's see. Oh yeah, all right, that's 19 plus whatever her thing is.
Yeah.
So you pat her on the head, and she rushes up right into like your personal space, almost inside your guard, but not quite. You've got a tight guard. And when you get ready to, strike yourself, it's like she almost disappears from your vision. And you notice only a moment later that she sidesteps around you and strikes you just in your lower back to the right of your spinal column. Just gives another poke with the fingers there, and you feel that heat again. No pain, but that heat.
Okay. I say, it's an honor to have met you, and it's an honor to fight you, and I go again.
Nice. Wonderful.
Oh no.
She starts, you know, getting her rhythm.
I do not hit the old lady. That was a 7.
Okay. You go to do another strike, and let's see what she plus
That wasn't a 7. That was a 1.
Oh, that's
That's
right.
true. It was, yeah.
Nice. Let's see. That would be a 16.
Yeah, that's my armor class.
Okay. Let me minimize that. So she, let's see. You go to strike. She comes back around in front of you and uses this, not a grabbing move, but like a double palm strike just below your sternum. And you feel uh, this an energy flow through you, and sort of feels like it pushes right out of the entire back of your torso, and you feel all the different points that she has struck so far. It feels like they start to connect with that warmth, like a large network. Um, you look down, after she strikes you, and in a blur, she's probably 15 feet away or so, picking up her cane now.
Okay. I'm just gonna be like, what, what did you do?
She looks up to you. That was a marvelous fight, my dear. Thank you. It's been some time, and she gives you a humble bow.
I do the same. I go lower than her though.
Neat. You may not have realized that you're certainly a capable fighter, but you have a tremendous amount of ki flowing through you. Uh, yes, it's a sort of magic, I suppose, based in life force. I took the liberty of unlocking your ki channels. You should expect your ki to grow with your training now. You really shouldn't limit yourself with just physical training.
What does ki do? What does it mean I can do?
Well, it's a whole new world, my dear. It really is. I'm afraid I don't have much I can teach you. Not in the time I have. And she kind of looks out up at the moon and the sky and over the crashing waves. I'll say this. Should you ever want to advance your training in ki, you should seek out an order. And she sort of pulls back the gray hair on one side, and you see that blackish ink that was on her face. It's this really intricate. It's a tattoo basically of this intricate spider's web that kind of reaches out and over this corner of her eye and forehead and side of her face. And just on the corner above her eyebrow is a Roman numeral, XIV. Uh, the mystics.
Yeah, cool. I'm just writing it down.
Okay.
Um, Thank you. You don't know how much this means to me. I want to become more powerful so I can protect you. This is all I've ever wanted.
She takes a deep breath and sort of gives you a fresh examining after hearing you say that. Very noble pursuit. With the level of ki you have, your potential, I have a feeling the mystics may find you.
I give her another very deep bow.
She gives a bow back. And then she starts walking, sort of Yoda-esque, where she's back to sort of being feeble and walking on the cane. Good day. And she kind of nods to everybody. And you see her sort of like work out a kink in her shoulder. She heads off to the port.
Cool. I turn around to everyone and I was like, did you guys see that?
That was cool. Romeo has pulled out some trail rations and is just like,
Nice. Emil's in the shadows.
I was about to place bets on you, but it seemed like the wrong time.
Oh, nice.
I'm just super excited about what she said, so I go like straight into the inn and I want to go and just start meditating to see if I can like get some tea.
Nice. Awesome. You hustle in, and while it's, again, a little bit rowdy, there's maybe 12, 14 people in this moderately small tavern/inn. There is sort of a corner out of the way where there is a partially broken table that no one is using, and just beyond that in the corner is a nice peaceful uh, space to meditate in. As everyone else goes in, you see essentially the same. There's some music, drinking, shouting. Emil, you would spot some folks gambling. They're playing gambling with cards.
Not my thing.
Neat. There is a barkeep, a middle-aged human male. Has sort of like a monk's baldness. It's gone completely on the top, and he has like sort of really bushy hair, like he's really grown out the rest of it. Very crystal blue eyes and sort of a stout, bulbous nose, wiping down the counter and serving drinks.
The title is French bedtime, or like is it like early-ish?
Oh, it's you're probably around 10:30, 11 or so at night right now. 5 is when the ship departs.
5? Okay. Well. Oh, I guess we don't have time for a long rest anyway, so.
I mean, I'll technically let you guys have a long rest because
level up.
Yeah. You'll see you got some of it on the trip up here in the cart.
Okay. Well, in that case, I will ask the barkeep if he has any rooms that are
I will
available.
go up to the barkeep and say, however many rooms you have, I will be paying for them all. For my fine companions here.
Aye, lass. Well, I've got 3 rooms for the night. 2 beds apiece.
That's enough, right? That is enough, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, someone will sleep on the floor. There's 7 of you, but...
I'll sleep on the floor.
Over there.
Just sit there and meditate all night long.
Yeah.
No.
Or the 2 elves can switch the bed. Because we only need 4 hours.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is
I
true.
will lay down. How much is it done just for one night?
Let's see. It's only 2 copper per room, so you're looking at 6 copper for the night.
Oh.
Cheapy cheap, not the best accommodations.
Trying to convert that into gold.
I mean,
it's 10 silver, 10 copper per silver, 10 silver per gold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll break it down later and adjust it your inventory. I wouldn't worry about it now.
I've got it on the paper. 6 copper. Okay. All right. Okay. So she'll lay down 2 silver and say, and some good food and drink for all of us as well, please.
Oh, nice. Gives you just sort of a nod. And you see him go back into what you assume is a small kitchen in the back as he gets prepares some food. There is some pretty good drink. There's the Dragon's Fire, which seems to be something local. Essentially Fireball. cinnamon
whiskey.
Yeah, exactly. And let's see, some just some ale, some moderately tasty ale. And yeah, you all have a good fill. You eat plenty of food.
Before we start eating,
Mhm.
Ormia holds up her cup in a toast to living through the day. May we see another dawn tomorrow.
I grab my little thing of dragon's breath and plop it into my glass of ale. Cheers.
Nice.
I just
Kaylin.
kind of air cheers.
Nice. Sweet. And Astrid, as you were meditating, you do feel you're aware of this network now. You feel you have a very vague concept of it, but you do sense that there is some flow, recycling flow to this key in your body. You can't quite pinpoint many more details than that, but you do sense that now that it's been unlocked.
Awesome.
All right, and then you guys crawl into bed with full bellies and case of the spins. But everyone's able to get, or everyone that drank anyway, you're able to get good night's sleep. Around 4:30 or so, you hear the ship's bell ding, getting ready to depart within the next half hour.
All right,
So
get out of here.
Yeah.
Emil's very quiet. He's got his foot up this morning. He's not happy.
Oh, right. Okay. Kaylin sort of. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Awesome. You slip out of the inn. Kaylin avoiding direct eye contact.
Hold it.
Just kind
After the
of
complete
pat him
opposite,
on the
she's
head.
like skipping out, like so happy.
Nice.
Hold it, Jasmine. Right there. Okay.
All right, so you guys find your way to the ship, the Poppycock.
There.
Poppycock.
Very nice.
I can't
Awesome.
hear that word without thinking of Tiberius. All the stats.
All right, let's see. And yeah, you find your way to the ship. Everyone seems to be doing a much more efficient job this morning. The sailors that had been gambling down outside at the bottom of the gangplank, none of that this morning. Everyone's sort of preparing the ship, getting ready to go. You board the ship. You see at the head of the ship, once again, the captain, Kutani, that large female half-orc, barking orders to her first mate. She calls to the first mate, which is a human male, little under 6 feet, like 5'10" or so, shaven head, muscular build. You can see he's missing most of his left ear. It's almost sort of a nub. And not the prettiest crew. You guys find the first mate comes over and introduces himself. You're the last minute arrivals, huh? Let me show you to your quarters, and we'll get you set up. We'll be getting underway. And he kind of looks up at the sun in the sky. It's just I don't know, 5:30. It's just rising up over the horizon. Be leaving in about 20 minutes or so. You can make your way around the deck, but please stay out of the way of the crewmen. Follow me.
Ormia's just a little bit anxious, considering what happened last time she was brought on a boat.
Right.
Secrets.
So she's smiling, she's doing the morning thing, but okay, thank you.
Nate kind of gives a and leads you guys on. You all find very.
You guys hear me?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Rhinewin.
Oh, no, I wasn't trying to say anything, but all of a sudden, my network connection just went fluey, and I didn't hear a lot of. Well, I heard most of what happened in the last minute or so. So
Okay.
I know that we're on the ship,
Mhm.
and the first mate
And
is talking to us.
The Kraken came up and we all died. Sorry.
Nice.
And
It happened real fast.
yeah,
We all
New
rolled new
characters already.
The campaign moves to the afterlife now. Yeah. You all arrive and what? Neat. Oh, yeah.
if possible, I would like to ask the first mate if to ask the captain if stable on board on the deck of the ship.
I caught most of that. Sorry, Sarah. You'd
So
like to
that-
ask the first mate, to ask the captain.
Oh, sorry. Basically, I want to ask the captain for permission to perform
Ah.
my standard that we still wrote.
Okay. She has a brief conversation because she's pretty busy getting things ready, but she just asks you a few questions just to gauge your level of knowledge. And finding it sufficient, she gives you permission to assist and puts you under the command of First Mate Skinner. Oh. Uh, I'm just sending Sarah a message here to let her know that she has permission. Okay. All right. So, what does everyone else want to do? Are you all going to hang out in your cabins, or are you going to stay up on the deck?
Emil will be out on the deck because we're going somewhere new until, he'll probably be on deck until we get close to, play, and then he won't be.
Okay, neat. Everyone
I'm
else?
going to stay on the deck until Astrid realizes she's never been on a boat before and gets seasick.
Oh no. That is great. You know what? Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw, Astrid. Yeah. That's a great idea.
Oh, I've got such a great modifier on that as well. Big fat 0.
Oh no. Oh yeah, that's it. Okay, brutal. Yeah, you're already just from the minor waves of being in the port after being on the ship for like 5-10 minutes. You get seasick. You lose your That is so great. It's definitely off-putting for a number of the crew members because they haven't seen a fawn. Very, very rare to see a member of your race out and about in society, let alone sort of like getting sick and yakking off the side of the ship. It's just really a curiosity for a number of the crew members, and they get in trouble for it. Get back to work!
Who's not very stable on water.
Nice. Anyone that... Felix, where are you? What do you want to be doing on the ship?
I kind of want to go around the deck and just kind of keep an eye out and get a feel for the people that are working on the ship.
Okay.
Just because from my background, I'd probably be looking from a security standpoint to make sure that there aren't any sketchy people running about.
Okay. And Ormia?
I'm probably going to stick close to Ryman's side, to be honest, and I'm assuming she's going to stay on deck. So if she's out and doing stuff, right? So I'm just going to kind of like, I'm not nervous. You're nervous.
Excuse me.
That's awesome. I'm gonna try and bring her back into the call here, actually, because we lost
And
her.
she'll probably be helping. She's doing her ritual. Is that what she was saying?
She was asking to do her normal. I think anyway. She was asking to perform her normal duties, on the ship.
I'll assist with that.
Okay.
Her normal duties. Okay, not her cleric duties. Yeah, I'll just kind of stay within like sight of her.
Okay.
Because unfamiliar boat with unfamiliar people.
Yeah.
This isn't gonna be fun for her.
Neat. Okay, so you hang tight and
A little bit of PTSD.
Right. All right. So anyone? So I guess for everyone that is on, probably anyone that's not working that's on there. So I guess Felix, since you're looking around, Astrid, you could because you're yakking over the side of the ship, and Emil, since you're I picture your character typically scanning for things anyway. Go ahead. You three can make a perception check.
I'm gonna do mine with disadvantage just because I'm thrown up.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough.
Can I do one too? Because I'm like paranoid,
Yeah.
vigilant.
Yeah, and you're not. I suppose you're not really, working per se. You're sort of hanging out with. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. So Felix.
We are so good now.
Nice.
This is back to normal.
Felix, that's just barely enough. You see, as you're walking around the perimeter of the deck here, it's still really dark. The sun is just coming up over the horizon, but it's very Twilight-esque. And you see, racing up the dock, up towards the gangplank, shouting up to a member of the crew, a cloaked figure, asking for passage. And you're sort of, watching for a minute to see, unless you want to jump in. Otherwise, you're sort of watching to see how this unfolds.
Yeah, I'll watch.
Okay. There's a second bundled figure being supported at their side. You hear them begging for passage and offering, they say it's their life savings, it's everything they've got. They'll help, they'll do whatever is required of them. 30 gold, they said it's 30 gold, and just as he's shouting, it sounds like a male's voice is shouting this up. The first mate comes by and hears it and says, well, cost a toin, and he chucks this bag of gold up to the ship. First mate snatches it, takes a look inside, sort of fingers through to count, cinches it up, just gives a nod, and the cloaked man just thanks profusely. Thank you, and sort of re-supports the other bundled character next to him, up, helping them walk up the gangplank there, up onto the ship.
Do we all see this now?
Don't touch.
Yeah,
I'm assuming they were making something of a racket.
No touch.
There was some yelling.
Touch.
Let me check your actual rolls and see. No, probably not. It's while there was some yelling, there's a lot of yelling on the ship too.
Mine didn't register. Well, that was a 5.
Oh, okay. Neat. Let me check. Oh, yay! Welcome back, Saren. Good. Let me get you back into the.
Yeah, working on it.
Let's see. Let me get you.
And actually, I'm here. I can
Okay.
hear you guys.
Good. Yeah, it looks nice and smooth now too. This would be. Okay, there we go. Neat. All right, I think we're good. You're back in. Yay. And the first mate walks them over and down below deck. Felix, what did you get again? An 11.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you'd notice any more details than that. It's a bummer.
Probably.
Yeah. And shortly after that, you hear a, a familiar loud clanking. It's similar to what you heard back in the city of Bexley. It sounds like a small platoon of guards. Um, and this, I think, any of you would see and hear because it's such a distinct sound. Um, and there's about 8 guard-looking people that are hustling up the deck, up, two, hup, 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 two, and make their way up the gangplank. And the captain comes over and addresses them, points over to the stairwell that goes below deck, and they all head over there. And the captain gives the final say to depart from the dock.
Very
So they're
weird.
going to depart with the soldiers on board?
It would seem so.
Huh. Interesting.
They pull the anchor up and begin to set sail. And you guys are heading out to sea. First thing in the morning, there is something crisp and new and refreshing about it for those that like the ocean. The salt air, the call of the seagulls, the sun, the beautiful reflection over the waters. It begins to rise up over the firmament. And you get a little ways out from the port, and the wind catches the sails and ruffles them full, and you feel the acceleration of the ship as you begin this 11-day journey to the city of Rennes. Okay, so day 1. This is all early in the morning. Is there anything that you guys want to do or investigate, or, what would you like to do for day 1 on the ship?
Felix is kind of intrigued with the soldiers. I think he probably would like to shadow them and see what they're up to.
Okay. Anyone else have anything they want to do in particular?
Is there a crow's nest?
Mm-hmm.
I'm heading up there. And,
Nice.
I don't have the performance skill, but there's a lot of singing going on up there.
Awesome. Go ahead. Yeah, rock a performance check. I think that'd be great.
And it's
Hey,
not
it's really
too
good.
bad.
Hey, 18. Yeah. Voice carries, on the water and everything, and throughout the upper deck of the ship. Is you singing some sea shanties, or what are you working with?
A little bit of some sea shanties that I learned in my years with the I forget what I named the ship that I was on, but the ship that I was on, and some songs that I learned when I was a child from the elemental plane of water. So those would be in primordial.
Nice.
So kind of a mixture of those, and also I like also making stuff up in the mixture of the two languages as I go along, basically begging the god of my deity not to kill us all. And
Nice. It's funny because as the day's going on and you're singing this, the singing primordial is very captivating for the other, for a lot of the crewmates. Not something anyone's used to hearing. And so every so often, they some of the crewmates get caught up, looking up and listening to your song. And once they reach a certain point in the day when they're on course and they can kind of gear down a little bit, they start listening a little more to your songs as you start to mix the two languages. And it's funny because it sounds beautiful and primordial, and then it switches over to common, and they hear like "Don't destroy us with your wrath," and then it's like, well, we don't want to be torn asunder, and like.
But at the same time, because basically my deity is kind of it just kind of is. It doesn't really have motivations, so to speak. At the same time, I'm just like singing about the beauty of the ocean and that sort of thing. But also, Also, please, don't decide to have a storm somewhere else, maybe.
Nice. Okay, cool. Felix, as you go down to the first lower deck, you don't see any sign of the guards, and this is most of the cabins for people that have booked passage. There's a kitchen. The galley is on this level. There are another couple levels below, but they are currently guarded. There's two ways to get down, one on either the front of the boat and the back of the boat. And the larger passage in the back of the boat has two guards guarding it, and the passage at the front of the boat has one guard guarding it. You have monitored, when they switch shifts, and sometimes there's a gap of about 5 minutes on that front stair.
Okay.
But that's what you noticed so far.
Sounds good. I'll probably just keep an eye out for right now and see what else I can pick up later on.
Okay. Neat. And Emil, you would, if you spent any time on the deck below, then you would probably know that too, just because it's probably in your nature to scan for that kind of stuff.
I think as long as there's land in sight, Emil's going to be kind of captivated by, looking around the exploration, just to look around.
Okay.
Once land's not in sight, he'd probably just head for wherever our quarters are and hide.
Okay.
'Cause he's a little grumpy and miserable.
Neat. Nice. Aw.
Poor guy.
Yeah, by afternoon, there's no land in sight. The sails, the wind's picked up and off to the cabin then. Yeah. Astrid, is there anything that you want to be doing during the day?
Just getting used to being in sea.
Nice. You know what? Make just a Constitution check, and we'll see how you're doing by afternoon time here.
Okay.
Not too well. Nope. The waves here are, larger, but so there's much more of that ebb and flow, and it's just every time you think you're getting a handle on it, up comes the last meal you had. You do feel a little bit better when you're not on the deck. You found so far.
Okay.
It seems to work for you, but still, you're not handling it very well. You have to run up regularly to. Or
Comes to a point where there's nothing left in your stomach.
nice.
And the dry heaves.
Oh yeah, they're the worst. All right, let me check with. I just need to look at Steph's thing because I asked her what she might do in some of these situations, and I want to make sure that I'm doing her character justice. Okay. I think everyone. Whenever. Oh, good. What you got?
I was on the deck,
Mm-hmm.
just pacing anxiously, and then when it got to a point, I'm going to start kind of just going through, for lack of a better word, going through my forms and just practicing fencing.
Okay.
Seeing if anybody is going to come join me. If not, I am focused on that. If I'm not focused on that, I'm focused about someone coming up behind us. I don't want to keep looking over my shoulder like they do in Princess Bride.
Nice.
So I'm practicing my fencing.
Okay, perfect. The crew does look pretty ornery, and not that anyone's judging based on appearances, but it doesn't look like the Royal Navy where everyone's prim and proper and all that.
She's judging based on appearances.
Nice.
No powdered wigs here.
It's just business.
Okay. All right. So, according to what Steph was saying, Kaylin's interested in this whole guard sitch. You'd all notice if you've gone to the galley yet to eat, there's a lot of guards. You see more of those guards. You've anyone that's been below deck has seen the 3 guarding the stairwell, but there's about 6 to 9 at any time in the galley as well, that seem to switch out if you go down there for a second meal. It's a different group of guards. Definitely something amiss, which piques Kaylin's interest, according to what she had said. How would she approach this? I think that maybe Kaylin would talk to Felix if she saw Felix, sort of scanning about, and um, Felix, what's your take on these guards?
They're a few too many for my comfortability. It seems like something is definitely up. Dan, actually, are they all kind of wearing the same attire?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It looks similar like to the Bexley guard.
Right. They seem like they're part of the same company, so I'm actually inclined to investigate a little bit further to see what we signed ourselves up for.
Yeah.
Yet again.
Yeah, I don't care for surprises, Kaylin says. You have a plan?
Well, it looks like between shifts, there's about a 5-minute gap where we might be able to sneak down below deck. And
look at you being crafty.
take a look.
Sort of still, for some reason, carrying the backpack with a giant skull in it. Adjust it because it's getting uncomfortable. Let me put this away. You think it'll be safe in my cabin?
Sure, yeah, we should be okay.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert, it's totally not safe in her cabin.
The shit blows up. Let me meet you back here then, I guess, when at the next shift, which is about 3 hours from the conversation, is the next swap.
Sounds good.
All right. And she leaves to go do that. And Racina has no interest in pursuing that, she said. Not unless other people, are. I don't know that, let me just have her roll a perception to see if she catches the two of you chatting. Because she'd probably help out if she saw it, was the idea. I don't even know what to roll that against. I guess, not that you guys are trying to be stealthy, but I need something to compare a perception to, so I guess if
Sure.
you wouldn't mind, Felix, rolling a stealth check, just a stealth to see.
Oh, why is it?
Stealth, armor. Oh, your armor penalty.
Nice.
But that's good, because that means Emercina saw you guys talking. We'll say that she sort of pulls up a seat, at the end of the conversation, and also asks, can I help? I mean, do you think it's dangerous?
It couldn't be too dangerous, I don't think. The worst they could do is probably lock us up in the brig. We could just claim that we got lost.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I'm in.
All right. Do either one of you want to check with Emil to see if he'd be free to help us? His certain set of skills might be.
Please
helpful
ignore what
in
I
this
just
case.
did.
Caitlin's like, I better get this to the cabin, and not it, She doesn't want to upset Emil any further. And Emercina's like, yeah, I'm fine with that. I guess we'll meet you back here, and what would you say, 3 hours?
3 sounds like a good plan.
Okay. So Emil, after you've only been in your cabin for like 15 minutes in the afternoon when you hear at the door. Emil? It's Emercina's voice.
Yes.
I'm sorry to bother you.
Come on in.
Thank you. She opens up the door and closes it gently behind her. And she's sort of looking around. What does your cabin look like? Have you done anything with it, or is it just sort of as is?
No, probably my bag's in the corner and I'm lying on top of the cot, and there's just nothing else there.
Okay.
It's unpacked or anything.
Neat. Um, well, we've noticed something fishy. Felix and Kaylin have anyway. There's a lot of guards guarding something below deck, and we kind of have a plan to go down and see what's going on. And we thought, who better to help with that than the great and illustrious Emil, with your skill set. Would you perhaps be interested in helping?
Sounds like fun.
All right. I knew it. Well, we'll catch you. We're going to meet at 3. Just before 3, there's a shift change at the front stairwell. And she kind of explains where it is and the time.
Okay.
Great. Okay, thank you so much. I'll let the others know. We'll see you there. She sneaks back out. Chink, shuts the door. So you've got like 2.5 hours of peace before that comes about.
Okay.
All right, so let's see. Rhinewin is singing, and Ormia, you're practicing. So Ormia, you do once there's that lull in the day where there isn't as much for the crew members to do. You do get some interest in your swashbuckling style. Some of the people that clearly consider themselves proficient with swords are very interested. Not a style they've seen before, and they ask for. One of them asked to have a quick duel to test the styles, and some others are just interested in the mechanics of it. They've asked you if you can show them the mechanics, so it's up to you how you want to react to those things. Oh no, VC did a connection thing because I asked her a question. I'm sorry, Sam.
The night of the cursed internet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we lost her from Fantasy Grounds too. Okay, so that we can always retcon that because there's other stuff going on. So we'll say while she's reconnecting, 3 o'clock has come around. You all find yourselves near that stairwell. As the shift change begins to happen. You actually luck out a little bit. Let me just double check that because just to do by mechanics. Oh yeah, okay, good. And the guard that's there has been yawning and yawning and yawning for anyone that's been there for a bit, and here's there's a certain bells that are rung for different times throughout the day aboard the ship. And there's an alert before the hour, and he bounces like an extra 5 minutes early, and begins to go to his whatever he's doing, and the stairway is unguarded.
I imagine us with like a Looney Tunes head over head, speaking around the corner.
Nice, yes. But go ahead and I guess I'm to the people. Okay.
Emil's just gonna walk up.
Nice. Okay.
Out I go.
Oh. And the other two.
Well, was there a plan? Sorry, I'm gone. Let's go.
Nice. They follow. All right. I guess I can't do anything for Sam yet. Okay. All right. So you guys, walk down the rickety stairs. They make a squeak every so often, but it doesn't seem to alert anybody. They're just, old steps. Everyone go ahead. Well, I guess I'm going to have to do it for those people. So Emil and Felix, go ahead and make a stealth check, if you would, please. All right, Emersina and Kaylin. Oh, Kaylin. This is going to be bad.
You're so screwed.
Yeah, she's got... Oh, Kaylin, not too bad. All right. And let me just get Emersina here.
Okay, sorry about that.
No problem.
The internet cord got stepped on and disconnected from the router.
Oh no!
So
red alert! Yeah.
Okay, so I dropped off when you said someone was interested in a duel.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's knock that part out. Basically, Yeah, someone was interested in a duel, and some of the other people are just asking you if you're willing to explain some of the mechanics.
Oh,
And so it's up to you how you want to react to those people.
well, I will gladly accept the duel, after which I will use the examples of said duel, which I'm probably going to lose because of my dice rolling, to teach. Which,
Okay.
depending on how they approach me, I might be a little bit more anxious than not, depending on how they approach me. If they're like, "You're awesome, teach us," then she'll be more willing, as opposed to like, creeper.
Right,
kinda
right.
guy.
Thankfully, the 3 or 4 that have approached you seem to have a genuine interest. They're not being snotty brats about it or punks. They seem to be as polite as you can expect from.
Let me get Fantasy Grounds back up and going again because that got disconnected too.
Okay.
Such a fun time.
Yeah, isn't technology great, you guys?
Well, look at it this way. At least we're not, teleporting to another planet and it fails in the middle.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Right? Oh my gosh. Now let me shut the map off. I'll have this.
Okay, here we go.
And if you want, Sam, as far as a roll for the duel, just, you know what, make a performance check. We'll just have it as a performance.
Oh, goody.
And we'll do their performance, which is terrible. Okay, they rolled a 2.
Okay.
And they don't have any proficiency, so. Oh my gosh! You rolled 2. Thankfully, it's a clumsy battle. You weren't expecting, to have the audience, to have.
Can I have advantage on that?
I mean, you win anyway. You managed to win. They only rolled a 2.
Okay, I guess I'm still a little nervous around them.
Yeah. But you do manage to disarm and defeat. Nice. Your opponent.
With a flare. Because I can do that.
You end it with an awesome, like, Spider-Man joke. Yeah. Nice. Okay.
And then I'll start, it's like, does anybody have any questions?
Nice. You get a little bit of a following, by late afternoon. People sort of asking questions and being interested and explaining.
More retainers.
Awesome. All right. And while that's going on, we have.
So I have no idea that any of the sneaking is going on. I am just dueling and having a blast trying to not trip over my feet.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Let's see. Oh, right. I need to check your stealth checks. I did not check those yet. What do we get? So.
Please don't look.
So oddly, Kaylin did all right, and Racina's pretty stealthy. You know what? But I do have to roll. It's not an automatic thing, so let's see. Oops. Oh, they rolled a 1 and another 1. Okay. I'm gonna say.
Gonna end well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the people that are supposed to be paying attention to you are not. It's likely almost. I doubt they all change at the same time, but these two are sort of. Oh, you know what?
They just don't care anymore.
You see a hallway as you come down the stairwell. You quietly sneak out and look down this long hallway. And there seem to be, it's essentially the brig section. And down in the middle of the hallway, there's a chair set up on either side of the hallway facing one another. And in those chairs, you see a very familiar set of guards. Inebriated and asleep at their posts. It is the 2 guards from the wall, just because they both rolled 1, so who else could it be?
So it's Rocky and the one that we don't know whose name is.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What would be a common prank similar to tying people's shoelaces together for this kind of era and time, because I need to get some embarrassment revenge on these two.
Nice. Okay.
Untying like their armor ties, maybe.
Nice. Yeah. Well, maybe loosing a belt. Like pants in those days had zero elastic, so heavily relied on the belt to keep things up. So loosing a belt could be one thing, or you're free to come up with anything yourself if you had something else you wanted to try. Um, they have drinks, and I mean, I imagine you have any array of things that'd be disgusting to have them find in their drinks.
I
As
have
well.
2 reddish orange potions.
That is awesome.
But I'm not there, sadly.
Oh.
I mean, I think Emil at this point. What is my wisdom? Probably not high enough to have some sense here.
They have big bushy beards too. I mean, you've got a pretty sharp blade.
Oh yes. Although I don't know, Emil might
So
maybe dudes have like the sanctity of a beard. Like,
Oh,
fraternity.
Emil has no such thought.
Okay.
I think my intent would be to debelt them and maybe use the belt to tie a foot to a shoe to the chair, so that if they start to walk, the chair comes with them.
Nice.
So it's a little elaborate, but I think that's what I'd like to try.
I like it. I guess it'll be low DC because they're just knocked out, cold, drunk. So I guess make just a dexterity check to carefully do the stuff without hassling anyone.
Sleight of hand.
And if anyone's helping you, if Felix or Emerson, I think Kaylin would definitely want to help you with that. So go ahead and roll with advantage.
Yeah,
Sleight of
Felix is
hand.
just gonna stand here and not move.
Nice. Oh yeah,
Nice.
not a problem. Not a problem.
Okay.
Awesome. You've got. Okay.
Okay. I need to step away for 1 minute, but
Okay.
hopefully this will turn out well.
Neat. All right. So after that's done, you hear a wheezy sort of breathing from one of the cells, maybe another 25 feet down the hallway, and clanking of chains.
Are there any other guards down by that way, or is it
You don't
just
see.
these two?
Yeah, currently you don't see any others. It's probably. I mean, you've seen them change shifts, and they're not all changing shifts, but this seems to be like you guys stay here and monitor this hallway while everyone else is sort of changing shifts, and they just, they suck. It's these two.
Yeah. Those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go up there and take a peek.
Okay.
I'll stay out of like the direct line of the cell and just kind of like peek around the edge and see what I can see.
All right. Nice. Let me see if I have a picture still or not. As you. Okay. You look around the corner into this cell, and these, I mean, I call them cells, but they're really broken down and just crappy accommodations, even for a brig. You see what appears to be a fairly slim figure, an elf of some sort at your initial glance, chained to the wall. But go ahead and make a perception check to see what other details you might spot.
Yeah, sure. Oof.
What did we get? A 12. Okay. No, I mean, you're right there, so it's not really super difficult. There are torches lighting the, lighting the whole area here. Where's the picture? Okay, there it is. Sweet. All right, sorry, I just need to copy this over to the folder for Fantasy Grounds so you guys can see. I'm just going to put it here for now because that would be fine. You see a female dark elf, a drow. Dark skin, platinum, like white, almost white hair, bright blue eyes. Looks like at one point she had some sort of leather armor on that's now just been sort of cut and torn. She's clearly been tortured or interrogated or something. And it's not pretty. But let me share this image out that should be in here now. Okay. No, don't delete it. Sorry. This is the healthy version of what this person looks like. Just imagine this completely trashed and beaten and the like. And I will share this out for viewers to see.
So imagine it with like the original Doom heavy damage overlay.
Yes. I don't know why it's taking so long to load. She is chained in the back corner of this cell, by 5 separate shackles. One on each wrist, one on each ankle, and a really thick metal one as a collar around her neck, chains leading up to the walls behind her. And she's just about limp in here, not in very good shape, but semi-conscious.
Mm-hmm. Does she have a gag on? Are they keeping her restrained in that way?
Nope, not currently. Lips are swollen from being struck so much, but no gag. Just some drool from being, so severely beaten. Blood and drool.
I'm gonna report what I see back to the rest of the group. I'm assuming Emil is pretty much taking care of this elaborate prank that he's been working on.
That's what we came down here for, wasn't it? Oh, was there something else?
Oh, yeah. So what do we know about Drow, or what would I know about Drow?
Make a quick history. Actually, you know what? Let's, because we're just being introduced to this person and it's exciting, let's take our bio break. It's also 11:30, and that way we can come back and get into all the goodies. Yes. So for those watching that don't know, we do take a quick bio break, 5 to 8 minutes, and then we shall return. So we'll keep streaming, but we'll be AFK. So catch you soon, in just a few minutes. Yay. And I'm back. All right. Oh, hey.
Hello.
Pharaoh's Queen, everyone. Hey, Beth. Yay. Uber Beth, full of key.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Neat. I've got all sorts of extra fun future stuff too planned, just in case, above and beyond the normal, in case you end up trying to set things up for everybody. I kind of like those different factions in the world where you can get renown and other stuff and extra skills, so everyone can keep an eye out for stuff like that. I'm trying to work it in for everybody.
Nice.
All right, let's see. If I can change the music here. I don't think there's anything for being out in the ocean.
We don't need music. We've got Ryan singing.
Ah, yes. Very cool.
Actual singing not guaranteed.
Nice. Hey, Polydon, and yep, Dark Searchman and Pharaoh's Queen. Cool. Woohoo! Nice to see y'all here tonight. This fine evening. All right, looks like almost everyone's back, which is cool. So I think since Ormia's has, a whole set of things that she's doing currently, we can jump back in to the drow locked in the cage. So yeah, let's see, Kaylin. I think Kaylin might gasp a little bit, being with her, history. Emericina, I don't know how she'd react, but probably not like, "Ooh, this is so cool." She'd probably also be a little aghast that someone's being treated this way. You hear some steps on the upper, floor, just not coming towards you or anything. Just one of those things you'd probably notice when you're on high alert for stuff like that. Yeah, go ahead and take it away if you want. Anyone down there, Emil or Felix.
Well, if I'm done dealing with the guards, then I don't know. I mean, maybe Felix, because I guess you went further in. What are you doing? Are you going to talk? Or are you going to back off? What are you going to do?
I kind of come back for a group huddle and kind of try to see what we want to do together.
Caitlin asks, what did you see?
There's a woman in the brig up ahead. She seemed in really bad shape. She was really beat up. But maybe I should have led with this. She was a drow.
A drow?
Yeah. Sometimes they're called dark elf.
Huh. I wonder what a drow is doing on a brig on a ship, Kaylin asks. Emericina has no idea what a drow is, I don't think. Oh, she's a wood elf. She'd probably, I guess, have an idea.
Well, why don't we go find out?
Yeah.
Felix will just go up and kind of rap on the cell door.
You see the figure jerk a bit, like, pain response sort of reaction. Tries to bring out this, her right eye just swollen entirely shut. She kind of tries to look up. Who are all of you?
Oh, that's not important. What are you in here for?
She sort of is swaying in and out of consciousness. She's trying to... gosh, she's going to have to roll.
Sure.
She's trying to gauge, like, who you are, what you want. But she really can't. Yeah, and she rolled a 3. I don't belong here. piece here, trying to pull a little bit in the chain. Clink, clink. We're on a ship? Yeah, that's right.
We just left Bexley.
They took me. They had no right to. They want what I know. She sort of looks up to scan you guys again. Give her another shot here. Nope. That was a 5. She tries to reach over to kind of wipe some of the blood and drool off her mouth, but the chains won't permit it. I don't belong here. Please help. I deal in information, and they want the information I have, but what can I do? There must be some information I can trade for my freedom. If I don't,
Emil walks up to Felix, puts his hand on Felix's shoulder, doesn't mention his name, doesn't say anything, but just kind of, let's go. And then I'm out. I don't want any part of this.
Interesting. I'll follow Emil.
Okay.
And I tell the prisoner, we might be back later to check in on you.
Consider it, please. She sort of, lets herself slump again. I think Kaylin and Emersina would follow because they were sort of. Kaylin said she'd be interested, but would kind of go with the flow. And Emersina said, whatever, she'll just go with the flow. So they follow you all back out. You seem to have a decent amount of time because that guard left so early before the next guard comes to take his place. And you guys make it back up to the deck of the ship, or however far you want to go. You at least make it back up to the cab, as far as the cabins or further if you want to.
Cabin might be a good place to talk.
Yeah. Emil, what was that all about?
It's going to be a long voyage, and, if we're going to get in trouble, let's get in trouble close to shore at least, and not, where they can throw us in and forget about us. So maybe that conversation is best to have later in the trip.
Sounds like a really good idea.
We're not going to do anything about the guards. We're not going to do anything about a prisoner or anything that's going on for the next, 14 days at sea. She was trying to sell us something already, and I'm not interested in buying something on the first day of the voyage.
Where's your sense of adventure?
Ask me again when we're close to Rennes, and I may have a very different answer, but for now, let's take it slow.
Sounds good.
And Kaylin seems very interested. She's very inquisitive. She you can see she really wants to know more, but she's following Emil's lead on this. And Emersina's just like, yeah, whatever you guys say. She agrees. She doesn't want any trouble. There's 10 days out from shore. All right, shut off the map here. So, unless anyone has anything else they want to do for the rest of this, day 1 here, the rest of the day proceeds as you might expect. Everyone's able to get a good night's rest, and go ahead. Yep.
Speaking of good night's rest, I think I still have lost hit points on my character sheet.
You're right. Let me do. Let me pull this up, and I can just do a whole long rest in the combat tracker.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah. All right, bam. Did that reset it for you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Good.
Party is taking a long rest. Jeez. This is a pretty awesome tool.
Yeah. Thank you, Fantasy Grounds. All right, let's see. What do we need to do? All right, so as everyone lays their heads down to rest at whatever time y'all decide to sleep. If I can have everybody roll a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, goody.
Ooh.
All right, where's saves? Wisdom save for Kaylin.
Nice.
And a wisdom save for Emersina. Okay, good. Everyone has a wonderful night's sleep. You're able to have
Even me?
Yeah, yep. This
Oh.
is and Kaylin got a 4. Yeah, you got a 3. Nope, still able to get a good night's sleep. You wake up well rested. There's some interesting, smell of food coming from the galley. I don't know if there's, I don't know. There'd probably be a lot of bacon there too, and Astralanor. I mean, and pigs. So it feels like they are well stocked for an 11-day journey, and so they don't really ration much. And you can smell a lot of pretty tasty food. Seems to be someone that really knows how to cook well down in the galley. Does anybody have anything for day 2 in particular that they would like to have their character do?
Can we get a quick recap? Was there kind of a loud clanging, like somebody in armor falling down at some point last night? Or are kind of the guards smirking and chuckling this morning? Because Emil wants to know.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
He didn't do anything. He doesn't know anything. But if there's something happened and the guards are amused, I want to know about it.
Make you can make a perception check to see if you heard anything in the night. And anyone can if they want to. Wow. Okay. So it's only one floor below, and your cabin isn't directly over where that cell is, but it's fairly close. Now that you are spatially aware of where it is. And you heard sounds of a beating, basically. You heard muffled sounds of a beating, some chains, some shouts, but you wouldn't be able to make out what they're saying through the flooring. But you hear these muffled sounds below you. You heard a guard, like a shift change. Early in the morning and late at night, there were a couple shift changes for the guards where you hear like 4 or 6 of them kind of go by at a time, and then a few minutes later, another 4 or 6 head back down.
Okay, I didn't hear like the belt thing go off though.
Oh, the bell? Oh, for like the different times when they...
The prank.
Oh, right. I'm so sorry. Right. Okay, that's what you were asking.
No, I'm interested in all of it, but
no, with that perception check, you absolutely did hear that. It's muffled through the floor, but there's sort of a distinct sound. You hear like a what the, there's that cadence to it where you're just like, that's what 2 people shouted, and then right after you hear the sound of chairs and 2 bodies thunking down onto a floor down below, and then grumbling. And then you hear some other guards sort of approach down the hallway and down the stairs. And then you think you hear some raucous laughter as well from a number of other guards, probably.
Excellent. Okay, so blanket statement, anytime you see Emil on day 2, he is smiling.
Awesome. Prank successful.
Okay, sorry, day 2.
No, don't be sorry. That's amazing. Anything anyone wants to do for day 2 in particular, or just want it to be a day as per usual?
I think Astrid would try to shadow Rhinewin, because she seems like she knows what she's doing on a boat. So not try and do it as stealthily as possible, because she doesn't want to be throwing up anymore and is a bit embarrassed about it all.
Nice. All right. You know what, Astrid? Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw. We'll see how your stomach's holding up today.
Oh god. Not great.
Better. But no, still every so often as you're shadowing Rhinewind, you have to peel off to go yak overboard.
I think Emil being a little bit more upbeat than yesterday would
Mhm.
probably take a moment to go aside with Astrid and say, think you'll get used to it over time. Unless of course it's not in the fawn nature, but assuming that your type can handle the sea, you get used to it eventually.
We're not known as seafaring folk.
Awesome.
Well, there's hope, That's all we can do.
But I kind of like smile and nod as I'm throwing up over the side.
Awesome. Oh, that's so great. All right. Yeah, I don't think Kaylin, she'd be asking questions probably. She'd probably at least approach Felix. She was on the fence, I think, about the whole going to Rennes. She had something she really needed there, but she felt bad that Emil really didn't want to go. So she's still sort of avoiding him just because she feels kind of bad about it. So she'd probably approach Felix at least and be like, so, what do we think's going on down there? I mean, a drow?
I'm not sure. Yeah, she claims that she's being held against her will unlawfully. I definitely would like a little bit more information before we make a move, if we do make a move. But
Yeah.
Emil does make a good point. We really shouldn't get our hands dirty until closer towards the end of the voyage.
Yeah, that's a good point. Did she give her name or anything, or give any?
We didn't ask for it.
Well, yeah, we should wait. And you can see her; she just sort of gets lost in thought, like puzzling over who this person might be, and what they're doing here, and all that. Let's see. Astrid, go ahead and make a wisdom check. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say that I'm imagining anyway that Astrid probably set aside a portion or different portions of the day for training. Does that sound okay?
Sure.
So you're experimenting with your key, this concept of key, and you feel like you're on the precipice of something new. Some sort of like a flurry of blows. You feel like you almost get this timing, this enhanced timing for these extra strikes in a shorter amount of time. Something much faster than you've been able to do to date. Playing back in your mind how that woman fought, you're trying to mimic it. With a 9, you feel really close to unlocking that. Of course, technically you have. This is
Okay,
roleplay, but I mean, if you have to use it at any point, you can.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, then I'm gonna probably spend a good part of like a couple of hours just to really try and meditate on it, and then try again afterwards.
Go ahead and make another wisdom check with advantage because you're spending so much time
Okay.
focused on it.
Oh, man.
If you weren't feeling so sick, you feel like you'd have this, no problem. But every time you get into the groove, you're thrown off by having to yak over the side of the boat.
I have not found my sea legs yet.
Neat. Okay. Rhinewind, is it more crow's nest for you today and ship duties?
Maybe a little bit, not so much time in the crow's nest. I did that mostly to just establish a rapport with, like, basically what she believes is like that each ship needs to be integrated into the sea culture. And so by like loudly proclaiming their intentions, basically, she has made the ship a part of the sea, and so it's fine now.
Oh, that's awesome. Neat.
Because it's made out of wood. It's not actually an animal. So artificial. These things have to be taken care of, and this is how she has decided that it happens.
That's great.
um, but anyway, so she'll probably help out around the ship. Probably do a lot of stuff that involves hopping around the rigging and stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
Keeping an eye out for dolphins and stuff. In
Nice.
case any of those happen by.
I'm going to say, too, the crew, probably in the first day, they were sort of not sure what to make of you. There's a superstitious bunch. Most seafaring folk in this world are. And it's just the culture. And being a water genasi, the hair floating up in the air and this oneness with water, they're not sure if they should revere you or fear you, or how to take you. And that first day of the beautiful melodies coming from the crow's nest seemed to put many of them at ease, but still standoffish. But today, your second day of sort of swinging around with them, helping out, knowing, being very competent in the ways of managing the sailing, you feel like you're building a rapport with the crewmates, with your fellow crewmates. More so, they're a little more willing to talk and willing to, give the old pat on the back, basically, today.
Oh, cool. Continue along that trend. Hopefully we can all be good buddies by the time we get to Rennes.
Neat. All right. Ormia, is there anything that you would like to do in particular for day 2, or just sort of more of the same?
More of the same.
Okay, slightly bigger following today. I mean, instead of like 2 or 3 people, you've got like 4 or 5 that, in their downtime come and just ask some repeat people. Just want to know more about the mechanics and have a little duel every now and then.
And I duel them left-handed.
Nice. I'm right. Yeah. That's awesome.
Then why are you smiling? Because I'm not left-handed either.
Fantastic.
I would like to check out the galley.
Sweet.
If that's cool.
Yeah, go right ahead. Is this like in the morning time with the food smell, or just in general?
Yeah. He decides that he's going to leave his armor in his room.
Okay, neat.
Take off his armor. That's probably not a great idea on a ship. Just in case.
Awesome. Okay, so you come down. You've got one of those, white cloth shirts with the little cross-threaded things on the front, and you head down to the galley. And when you step in, it's just the aromas are intoxicating. Some things you don't recognize, some you do. I mean, the bacon is very clear, distinct smell. There's, as you see other people eating, there's eggs and toast and some other things that look savory, other items that look a little more on the sweet side, confectionery type items, and it's a veritable feast for a pirate ship. I mean, I don't think that you've been on too many ships, but likely not what you would have expected. It's just a short voyage. They can stock up, and it seems like they've been well paid for this particular voyage.
Is it like a buffet style?
There's like a large window into the kitchen area where a number of dishes are set up and ready to be taken. But you do see some people ordering specifically, give me this, give me that, and they have the shorthand kitchen things like 2 chickens on a fence and make them fly, and then
Felix is gonna grab what's available. He's not gonna really be too obnoxious and order anything special, and just kind of samples what's there.
Nice. Yeah, the plates are pretty large, like a clay plate, and they hold quite a bit, so you're able to pick from a bunch of different things. There's only another 5 or 6 people in here currently, but they're eating like in this ravenous manner, not really following any table etiquette. Just nom nom nom.
No, 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 no.
Yeah, a little gross if you don't like hearing people chew. You maybe put off a little bit, but the food is great. Food is absolutely great. And they have a strange beverage called coffee there as well. It's a little
This
bitter.
is so good.
Yeah.
What is this drink?
Yes. Nice. This is amazing. Yeah, and that's breakfast.
Sounds good. I'd like to talk to the chef if that's possible.
Sure. You approach
my
the
head in.
window,
Yeah.
and you see a couple, two people right in front, and one sort of running around, darting around the kitchen, all wearing like sort of an apron type smock. But they're just looking down at the food, like preparing their food and getting the next thing ready.
Compliments to the chefs. This was delicious.
They look up over at you. Give one of them gives sort of like a half-hearted smile, like, and then gets right back. He's chopping some veggies and stuff. Another one says, "Glad you appreciate it, boy. Can't say many of these." I don't know. I was going to use a terrible word, and then I thought, no, I don't want to be sweary on the stream. Many of these oafs don't. Much appreciated.
My name's Felix, by the way.
It's a pleasure. You need anything, you just let us know.
Sounds great. Well, actually, now that you mention it,
Wipes
I
his
have a
hands
habit
on
of
his smock.
collecting recipes.
That a fact.
Yeah. Anything that you can part with?
Did you find anything to your liking this morning in particular?
Oh, sure. What was the dish on the menu? Was it chickens on a fence?
Yeah. That's chicken on these we call them waffles.
Oh, waffles.
Mm-hmm. And
Never heard of that before.
it's something we picked up in a different port.
Ah, okay,
Some folks like it, some folks you like it or you hate it. There's no in between.
No,
obviously.
they were delicious. I was very impressed.
Fond of them myself. Yeah, I can jot that down. Pretty straightforward recipe.
Sure. Yeah, I would definitely appreciate that. Can I maybe stop by later for that?
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you.
You got it. Finishes wiping his hands, kind of gets back to work.
So much can't right now.
Nice. All right. Let's see. So this is a fresh day. Oh, no, did we just do that? No, yeah, that's day 2. So let's. So unless there's anything anyone wants to do, we'll fast forward to the next day. Okay. Day 3. Let's see. Let me take a quick peek at the calendar here.
It's October 6th, Dan.
What's the moon phase? Oh no, I'm sorry. I mean, you got me. I can't multitask. Here we are. And it's the
Actually, it's the 7th of October here.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I know, it's funny, after you said it, I looked down, like, wait, it is the 7th. Alright, let me fix this. The 22nd. Okay, if everybody can roll a wisdom saving throw as they sleep.
I'm not liking these rolls.
Oh, gosh.
What?
Alright.
Oh god. Ooh, round one. 23.
Crap.
Whatever it is.
I'm toast. I am so toast.
Nope, everybody actually has a good night's sleep. Even Armia. I was
Jenna,
close.
Trolling us.
You never know.
No, he's tallying them up for a later thing that's gonna jump out and be like, ha ha ha!
Boom!
You were actually asleep that whole time.
Yeah, it was all a dream, Dallas. Um, all right, let's see. So yeah, everyone has a good night's sleep. So I guess for the day, Astrid, if you want to roll your Constitution saving throw to see if you're
Sure.
adjusted.
Why not?
Fingers crossed.
Come on. Hey, that's the best.
Hey, and that's what you need.
Hey.
You feel like you finally acclimated, yes, to sea life.
The chef gave you some ginger.
Yeah.
Nice. Saw how ill you were and slipped some into your food. Like, oh. Yeah, you feel like you finally acclimated to this rocking and such of the ship, and you don't feel sick at all today. And moving forward, you've acclimated now.
Cool.
Go ahead and make a wisdom check, though, Astrid, if you want, as you spend your time training.
Can't do the top row.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot put a shelf on that top row.
Again, you feel really close. You know what? Roll a second time, because I meant to do that with advantage if you're doing the meditation and everything beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
13, yay! Okay, so, at last, now that you don't have all this seasickness to deal with, you feel that you've been able to successfully mimic, if I can find it here, successfully mimic one of the moves that this old woman was using, Flurry of Blows, where essentially, immediately after you take the attack action on your turn, you can spend 1 key point to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action. So, roleplay wise, you get this really, really fast, like a fast boxer's straight, where you can catch like 3 dimes, you pop them off your arm, you snap 3 up before they hit the floor, boom, 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 and you're able to use your key energy to strike hard, harder than you were before. I'll say like part of it was practicing with a mask, because it's this massive piece of wood you're not gonna break, but you actually put a little bit of a crack and dent in it when you finally get your flurry of blows down, boom, 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 right in the same spot, and it cracks a little bit. I mean, not cracking the whole thing, but just
when that happens, I'm like, yeah. And just kind of like back away, like walk off.
Nice. Thankfully, no one saw that. But there's like a knuckle imprint that has like some cracked wood around it. All right. So I'm gonna, unless anyone has anything you want to do from day 3 to say day 10.
I do. Here. So I'm kind of trying to build up a rapport with some of these people who keep coming back to me for lessons.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to get some clues as to my teacher's whereabouts, like where he could have gone, what sort of weather the boat, what sort of like how the ocean was like on the day he left, figure out what sort of things are going around the island, if they knew anything suspicious, if they knew a way, or if they know of different ways that people would be able to sneak away.
Okay, make a
just kind of like, hey, I'm not like drilling them, but just like,
right.
Hey, bringing it up in conversation because I'm charismatic and I can do that.
Yeah, make a persuasion check, just in general, just to see. I mean, they know what they know, but this may play into it. Persuasion part may play into it. You're...
Okay, come on, die.
Well, we'll say that was for 1 day. So go ahead and roll with advantage, and you can roll 2 more times, each with advantage for the next several days.
Persuasion.
Because there's a lot of people to talk to on the ship.
Yeah, and I'm trying to do it with like, oh, that's better. With like the people who keep coming back to me, so it's like I'm building a friendship.
Okay. You do get a bit more of a following, so to speak, each
and
day.
And then one more that should have been with advantage. Okay,
Okay.
so same
I
thing.
think that's enough 18s to, enough high rolls. So here's what you find out. The people
Wait. Let me get my notes.
Okay.
Notes. This is important.
um, while the people that you've been working with haven't really been to that area of the world, they don't have any information of value to offer. They've been asking about to other crewmates. That hasn't really turned up much either. However, one of the people that has been sort of training under you is actually one of the guards that has been. You've seen these guards all in the same uniform, sort of mucking about the ship. Um, and she tells you that she may not know, but and this would be like day 10 out of 11, where you've built up enough of a rapport. There's a prisoner that they're keeping and delivering to the city of Rennes that was an information broker, and a very good one. And she may have the information that you seek. The guard says there's not much that she can do to help, but she does say the guard shift often changes out at a certain time of day. She references a couple of guards that have been caught twice now, passed out drunk at their posts, that would typically be thrown in the brig too, but they were told to keep all guards on the ready. They apparently consider this prisoner dangerous because of the information she has. So she sort of gives you a possible in, but tells you that she may have the information that you seek. The prisoner. And I don't know if you've talked to Felix or Emil or anyone else in this time, or if you've just been sort of hanging
Would
with Fremen.
anyone have come to me? This is about the drow, right? Would anyone come to the high elf about the drow?
Oh, sorry, Emil, you're muted, I think.
Yeah, sorry, Emil just wouldn't think of it, so no.
Because I wouldn't have thought to go exploring, and I'm doing my lessons in fencing all day, so.
Right.
And Emil doesn't talk about his kind of adventures where he sneaks around, so he just wouldn't think to talk about it.
Nice. You know what? I'd probably say Kaylin may have. I don't know. She's probably been waiting anxiously, following Emil's lead. But now that it's day 10, she'd probably be pretty antsy to get some, clues or figure things out, and she might be like, "Hey, what's up?" She probably talk to Felix about it since they've been coordinating, and maybe she'd say, Kaylin, was raised by elves, so she understands the trial, but she wants answers, so she might want to. She'd probably recommend to Felix, hey, maybe we can talk to Ormia, and maybe she'd have some more insight on the drow. Like, it's time, isn't it? Can we do this, Felix? What do you think?
What was that guard's name, by the way, who told me that?
The one that told you that?
Yeah.
Rocky.
Yeah, Rocky was one of the ones, the bums that passed out. Oh, right.
Her name.
Those are,
Testing your improv.
Yep. I had one written up, but it was a guy's name, so that was foolish of me. Shiva. Yeah, I like that.
Shiva. How appropriate. God of dance. Okay. All right. Okay. I need to step away for a minute, so do another thing with me not involved.
Okay. So Kaylin would probably be eager in asking Felix, today's the day, right? I mean, we're supposed to arrive tomorrow, mid-morning, late morning? I mean, it's been killing me. What's What do you think?
Yeah, we'll bring everybody in the loop tonight.
Okay.
I think we should wait as long as possible. Emil was pretty wise in his move to kind of lay off things until, lay low until we get closer to port here. But yeah, just be patient and we'll be okay.
Oh, all right. She's all flustered and eager to find out info. You've probably all noticed at this point. You notice the guards. There's a number of lifeboats. I think Kaylin would probably have been eyeing those. Anyway, did Kaylin know that she offered hey, help me out of here, help me, and I might give you information? She doesn't know that, does she? But you would notice, Felix, at least, and Emil, after both of you knowing that. There are a number of lifeboats around as far as potential escape routes. There's lifeboats. There's not much else. It looks like the only means to bounce, unless you guys have any questions about what might be on the ship or have any thoughts, and you're welcome to ask.
Are there enough lifeboats for everybody on the ship?
It typically there would be, but because there's all these extra guards on here, you don't have an exact head count, but it looks like possibly. It's tough to tell. It'd be close.
Okay. Felix would actually like to see if you can find Astrid. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
cool.
head up to the deck.
Sure. Yeah, you've probably seen her training at certain times of the day, likely in similar spots. There was that one day she was training by the mast, but you haven't seen her there since. But I think you'd be able to find her pretty easily. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm around.
Hey, Astrid, how's it going?
Hey, haven't seen you while I've been on here. How's it going?
Not too bad. Listen, I feel like I need to apologize. I didn't trust you back at the tomb, and you're right. You were totally right about those ghosts, and I should have listened to you. I just kind of find it a little bit difficult to trust people I don't know.
I appreciate that. And as well, I think I was a bit jumpy because I'm used to being in the open and forests, and I'm not good with enclosed spaces, so I think I could have reacted a bit better as well. But I still haven't forgiven you for pushing that guy in front of me in the street by the cafe when we met Kaylin.
Felix was a little shocked. About what time? What time was that? I really don't recall that.
Oh, that's awesome.
I saw you.
All right, I'll come clean. I heard someone by your description when we were in Bexley that was training in the were they like fighting rings, Dan? Or
Coliseums, basically
Coliseum.
fighting pits. So yeah.
And yeah, your name came up a couple of times. Just didn't know if it was you, but seeing your performance in the tomb, yeah, I think you live up to your name.
I kind of blush a little bit. And Thank you, Felix. Thank you. It's ever since I was small, I've just wanted to be able to be strong and powerful and protect people. And that's my goal.
Well, you're well on your way.
Oh, thanks. I trip him up.
Nice. Ooh. Sweep the
And
legs.
then give a hand.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, neat. All is balanced. That's great.
So she's on the way of the key.
Now we're even.
Sounds good.
Fantastic. All right. Also to note, Astrid, you again for roleplay, as you mastered your flurry of blows, again replaying the fight that you had with that woman. You try and mimic some of the moves and such that she did. You learn, of course, basically the items you got: patient defense, where you can take the dodge action as a bonus action. You play back. Sometimes she just seemed to almost disappear with her speed, which leads you to Step of the Wind, which lets you use that key point to take the disengage or dash action as a bonus action on your turn, and your jump distance is doubled for the turn. You're powering your jumps and your speed with your key. And you're really starting to get the basics down of how ki works in conjunction with your body, the physical part of your body, to amplify that stuff. Yay.
Awesome.
They're so freaking cool.
Sweet. All right,
So the time I'll be just like hang out with Felix now. He's my best bird.
Nice. Awesome. And you do have sort of, there's somewhat of a kindred spirit there too, I imagine, between the fighter and the monk, just in classes. Neat. All right, so it moves. The day moves along. Dinner's served, and evening is turning into starting to turn to twilight.
Do I have time to go talk to that prisoner today?
You would. Tonight is the next time that the guards change. They told you around 11 tonight is when the next cycle changes out. That would be likely safe. Those two drunkards would likely be on on duty.
I'm gonna go do that then.
Okay. And it's around probably 8 now. 8:30. Is everyone else? Kaylin is just like, she can't wait. She's like, okay. Wherever she finds Felix.
So this is interesting. Would Ormia just go on her own, or would she wait until that time?
Like, what do you mean? Like, would I just go, or would I come see you guys?
Yeah,
Is that what you're
saying?
This is her own quest, so she doesn't want to bother you guys with it.
Nice.
It's like we have our own other thing to do. This is a personal thing, so she doesn't want to involve anybody in her personal problems. So she would go on her own, and we'll probably bump into each other.
Yeah, story-wise, this is going to be awesome. But
Nice.
What are you doing here? What are you doing here?
Awesome.
I figured I'd probably find everybody in the galley during dinner time or so. I don't know if people just eat elsewhere, but
Sort of a central
The galley.
location.
A common area.
They frown on eating elsewhere, so you'd likely see everyone there.
Got a big old turkey leg in one hand and a
Nice.
mug of ale in the other.
Yeah. Perfect.
I'm contributing to the chewing noises.
Perfect. Nom, nom,
hey, everyone, group meeting real quick, if everyone's free.
Kaylin gets her eager face.
I think we've got some free time still, yes.
Cool. And the next changing of the guards is at 11, where, again, whatever guard, it's shifted from that 5 o'clock, or whatever it was, to 11. That's where this guard has been assigned the past several days that leaves early. So that's your window tonight, around 11.
Around 11.
Mm-hmm.
So I hate getting caught up in all of these weird situations that we apparently just get caught up in. But there seems to be a prisoner aboard the ship that everybody's been pretty hush-hush about.
What'd you do?
How'd you find out about that?
We kind of went
Explored.
exploring.
We explored.
Nice.
Exact same time, yeah.
Okay.
Kaylin's like, don't choke. I know, it's exciting.
Exciting.
I mean,
Hardly the word I would use for it, but okay.
it's a drowning. What is she? It's such a puzzle. And you see sort of that sage aspect, her sage background, that wanting to know and understand things. Like, it's a drow. Like, what is a drow doing on
What's
the
a
ship?
drow?
Oh, and she sort of, Caitlin
realized-
probably look at Ormia first, like,
It's a drow.
they're nasty. They usually.
It's putting it mildly. Putting it very mildly.
Oh, come on, not all drow are nasty.
Yeah, I haven't met one yet that wasn't, but I've only met like one. They live underground.
Ormia's just giving you this like flat look. Like, are you kidding me? Did that actually just come out of your mouth right now?
Steph's gonna be like, Caitlin would never do that. Sorry, Steph.
No, she's not looking at Caleb. She's looking at Felix. Like the not all drow. Like, are you kidding me?
But a bunch of us were thinking about continuing our little exploration, as it were, and seeing what's really going on. Everybody on board? I mean, clearly we're on board the ship, but is everyone on board with the plan?
I had to throw you overboard for that pun.
Emersina chuckles. I am, Caitlin says.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
curious
in.
about what a drow looks like.
Yeah, I have no idea what they're talking about. I don't know what a drow is. I think it's some kind of monster, so I'm in.
Yeah. Does it have two heads?
Yeah.
No.
I-
No. Drow they're the dark elves. Dark in both appearance and nature. Backstabbers.
So facing them at all times.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Even then you can't trust them.
I'm still in.
All right.
Disappointed about the lack of two heads, but
Yeah.
all right.
We'll probably see plenty of two-headed things.
Camille?
Yeah, I mean, let's go.
Let's do this.
That sounds fun.
So do we all seven of us stealthily go?
I suggest those with disadvantage on their armor leave it behind.
Yep.
Caitlin's
Armor's
like,
still in the room.
yeah, okay. I'll leave my armor. Like, she was so depressed for a minute, like, no, I can't go. She's like, oh yeah, I'll leave my armor.
Dan, how do I take off my armor in how do I strip in
I think in your inventory, excuse me, if you go into the actual inventory in the equipment, near the red dragon, there's a little armor picture, and if you click it, you can like wear it, unwear it, and some other third option. Right, equipped,
Carry.
not carried, and carried.
Nice.
Pretty handy. Fantasy Groundsman.
This website's a lot better than Roll20. Or this program.
Yeah, it's sweet. All right,
So
Caitlin's
maybe
site.
we can
Mhm.
go in a couple of small groups so we don't attract too much attention.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Or what if someone, creates like a distraction? Not me, but like someone else.
I think we should try to stay quiet.
Okay.
These
the-
guards apparently aren't paying attention. So if we
The
create
idea
a
of a
distraction,
distraction.
that may make it harder for us.
I don't know.
Or
Kind of,
more fun.
yeah, I'm kind of enamored of the distraction idea. Now that it's been mentioned, I don't
Now
think
it's
I
out
would have.
there.
I don't think I'd have the intelligence to think of it myself. But now that it's out there, I'm kind of like,
No, we need quiet. I don't want to get risk getting caught around this person. She probably has information that I need.
Caitlin lifts an eyebrow at that, like, information. I'd like.
What information do you need?
Someone I care about greatly has gone missing.
Oh.
Sorry to hear that, Caitlin says. Emersina
And
seconds
I'm convinced he was taken. He would not have left. Just vanished.
I'm so sorry.
I need information. And I don't want to. There's a possibility she has clues to finding him.
And you prefer to do that without a distraction?
I don't want to risk this. We're almost to land. This could be my only shot. And I realize now that has come out of my mouth how selfish that sounds, but...
No, if there was a chance I could get back the ones that I've lost, I would do anything. So, okay, no distractions. Let's go.
Thank you.
Emersina backs that notion up too, gives a head nod, like, yeah, absolutely.
And watch me roll a 1 on stealth.
I will say time, fast forwards to 11, and yeah, if you guys want to roll stealth checks. Woohoo!
I'm so nervous.
do I have disadvantage on?
If you have, no, I don't think so. No, because you have to change shirt, I think, and not the full-on thing. All right.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, Jack of all trades.
Nice. Kaylin is killing it. Emersina, not so much. Okay. Felix and Emersina and Meals are right for this. Okay. So you guys go down the stairs, and what is the marching order you'd like for this? Because the guard has left his post ahead of time, as expected.
Ormia would be first. Do you reckon that, Sam?
Second, because I don't know exactly where she is, so I'm following whoever knows where.
Maybe Felix lead and I'll take up the rear and I'll just try to be perceptive and watch for guards and stuff.
Clink.
Sure, yeah. I'll be in front.
Nice. Okay. You just jot that down. Not that it'll be important. Just kidding.
Don't do any evil DM that, please.
Strokes his white cat.
Yeah.
Nice. So I have Felix, Emersina, and who's third?
I'm second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or me a second.
Right. Sorry. Ormia is second. Who's third?
I'll go after Lamia.
Okay. Reinman. I'm going to toss Emersina in there. And then who wants to go the fifth?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. Astrid. Sixth. We'll do... I guess... actually, where would you like to go, Emil? You want to be last or second to last? Okay.
Last is fine.
All right, and then Emil. All right. So you all managed to make your way down the stairway. It goes down, has a platform, and then backs in towards the ship. Emersina has a bit of a stumble onto that platform, and as you look back, some of you look back like what? Because she rolled a what was it here? A 3. You take a quick moment to scan the hallway, and you see one chair empty and the other chair. Actually, I should probably do a roll for him just in case, because that was a pretty bad stealth check. Okay. The other one looks to be sort of in a stupor, facing away from you. You see that, like, maybe they're swigging some out of a flask of some sort. But the other stool is empty. Because last time there was a person in each. But you're at the end of the hallway still, in the stairwell.
So does the guy notice us?
Mm-mm. He seems to be in a stupor, facing away and dropping one back from a flask.
I'm gonna pause and just do like an extra perception insight just to make sure he's really asleep and not faking.
Yeah, make a perception check to see what you spot.
Okay. Come on. Dice. Ugh. He's totally asleep, guys.
Even from here, you can kind of see it looks more like he's just in a drunken stupor, like he's hammered. Not quite asleep, sort of bobbing and weaving and pulling back from a flask of hard liquor, you imagine, but not quite asleep yet.
So, like, if he did see us,
Let's
he would
wait.
remember seeing us 2 minutes later.
Quite possibly.
I think we should wait for a minute.
Hate to ask, what does everybody think about just knocking this guy out?
Caitlin's like, I'm all for it. Cracks her knuckles because she does not like these dudes.
Be my guest.
And she, what did she roll? She, like, killed it. She had a 20. Without her armor on, she's even, all the more quiet. Of course, that was with disadvantage. So, still, she walks up, and, you know what? Let me just do a, she must have an attack in here. Just gonna roll a straight up attack. Okay. And let me see, like, how high she gets on. Okay. And let me do a save for him. Okay, got a 7. So she just goes up behind him, takes the back of her short sword, and cracks him in like the base of the skull, just off to the side, and he just folds over himself onto the floor in front of his stool. Cask starts clunk, 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 leaking out onto the floor there. This little flask of booze. He's out. She turns back.
You're blurry again.
Oh, thanks.
It's from the point of view of that guard.
Yeah, this is what the guard sees. Yeah, it's awesome. Let me see if that. Okay, good. She looks back at everyone, just sort of gives a nod with a big smile. It's like.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Can I, like, as we go past, can I, like, prop up so it looks like he's just asleep rather than unconscious?
Sure. Yep.
Clutch.
Yeah, you've got the strength.
Sits out of the bag of holding it and threw it on.
Nice. Yeah, you sort of lean him, prop him back up, and sort of slumped into his chair now.
Yeah.
Flask, you put the flask in his hand and put it like on his chest. Pour some over him.
Yeah.
Emil's just going to hang back near where the guards would have been and just, like, exit the entrance to the room, just keep an ear open for somebody coming to give an alert.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Felix will push on down the hallway back to the cell that we saw.
Okay. Is everyone else going with Felix? Caitlin goes up there ahead of him.
Yeah.
Okay. So Felix, as you come around the cell, she's still there, still locked up. She looks, if you couldn't imagine her looking worse, but she does. A fair bit worse than before. You're really wondering how she's hanging on to consciousness. She's clearly a pretty tough customer. For those that haven't seen her yet, you do see that same, let me bring up the picture again here. Um, Drow, very. Hang on, where's the button for this? Um, oops, there you go. Um, some dark-ish skin, purple tones to it. Um, Platinum white hair, striking blue eyes, but her right eye is completely swollen. She's got a big cut above the left that has a bunch of blood, left a bunch of dry blood down her face. Mouth swollen, lips swollen, cuts, bruises. And really, the only thing that's holding her up is the chains. The chain manacle around each wrist, each ankle, and a very large one as a collar around her neck, chained to the wall behind her in the back corner of this cell. Just droop down.
Felix is gonna rap on the cell again with his lighting stick.
You get a weaker reaction than last time, but you do hear the chains sort of pull a bit. I didn't think you were coming back.
Well, we kind of wanted to wait until we were a little bit closer to port. By the way, we're a little bit closer to port.
Well, that could be good or bad for me. Have you considered my offer?
What offer?
I don't belong here. I was taken without just cause. I'm an information broker, and they want information. I'm not willing to give it to them.
Can I insight check?
Sure. Yeah, anyone that wants to insight, go right ahead.
Oh, it couldn't hurt.
Sure. Do I get advantage for something? Because I'm awesome?
Nice.
Oh, jeez.
No,
Oh.
Okay. Yep, right down the line. I mean, Rhinewin, let's see what we've got. Okay, and Astrid. Yeah, very difficult to read facial expressions because of all the swelling. But she does seem to be telling the truth about her vocation. She does seem to be telling the truth about the unjust nature of her imprisonment here. I think an outsider might see Calais as, that they're very focused, not just on commerce, but money, fortune, and not so much the power that comes with that, but really the fortune. And they really don't always care about others or how they get it. It's just, for those that live in Calais, that's just the way it is. That's part of the market. That's part of the lifestyle and how, you make your fortune. For someone outside of that, it might seem a little bit cutthroat, a little bit not always, above board or fair. And that might play into this based on what your perception is of Calais. You may think if she has information that often leads to money and power, and maybe they aren't being very fair in getting it. But if you lived in Calais, you might be like, yeah, that's just part of the game. Just to give a little background into the nation, the kingdoms in Calais. But she does seem to be telling the truth about being unjustly held here.
Where are they taking you?
I don't know. Maybe somewhere in Calais. Probably to the Cabal. I don't know.
Who's the Cabal?
You say you spoke of a deal.
She kind of looks.
You never mentioned what that was. I'm going to step forward a little bit.
Okay. She sees you sort of come out of the darker area of the hallway into the light of one of the torches in the cell. Flickering light illuminating your face. He's a fellow elf, but she knows a reaction that she typically gets from especially high elves. She's like, yes, information. That's what I do. I'm an information broker, and if you can get me out of here, I can make my way after that. But I will give you whatever information I have, and if I don't have the information you need, I can find it. Um, Let me think. Who is from the Kingdom of Calais originally, like born and raised there?
Is the city of Arendelle there?
Ooh, no, but if you're from Arendelle, you can roll a history check with advantage.
Cool.
Anyone from Calais can roll a history check, if they spend a good portion of their.
Wow. Wow.
The
The other one was a 1.
Oh no. All right, Emil, and this is pretty fitting too that you would know this. The more time you're spending sort of looking at this and processing, okay, information broker, drow, it kind of clicks that you think this might be. You've heard of an information broker that's a female drow that is like, she's not your run-of-the-mill information broker. She is connected and she gets things done. Her name is Sterling Sam.
I like her already.
And this might be her. A lot of things seem to be aligning with that. Sterling Sam, she is an elf, so she ages over a much longer period of time. She'd probably be around 200 or so now, 250. But you know that she helped a number of heroes some century and a half ago overcome a couple of great evils that faced the kingdom of Ephron and even some that threatened the world. And that's why she has so much renown. At least those are the tales you've heard of her. If this is in fact her. Okay, carry on.
So we let you out. You get us information.
You have my word.
Can I insight check that?
Yeah.
I want to roll my dice.
Can I too?
Oh,
Hey.
snap!
Well, yeah.
You are filled with confidence that she is a person of her word, and she is sincere when she says that.
I'm gonna. Character conflict. I love it.
Nice. Well, as you're thinking, Kaylin jumps in and says, "I have information I need too. Are you gonna just give us one little tidbit, or are you gonna help us all?" And she, responds, "I can find information for each of you. That's fine. I need to get out of here. Look at this." She pulls on the chains. No one should be put through this.
Can I take a closer look at the chains? I think make an Arcana check to see if they're magical or just mundane chains.
Sure.
Would that be Arcana or Investigate?
Arcana to see if there's any magic coming off of them. Oh.
I haven't gotten to that part in my Jack of all trades yet.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah. Nope. Regular chains.
It's so not magical.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else check, please.
It's intelligence based.
So Emil wanders over and says, kind of stands up beside her and says, "Well, if this is who I think she is, we can trust her. But if it's who I think she is, it's going to be difficult to escape without kingdoms chasing us." And then I go back to my post. Just kind of nod at the prisoner and go back to my post.
You think maybe she has a
Can
bit
I
of
turn
a
to?
smile.
Oh, sorry. Can I turn to Ormia and just say, how much do you want to find out about your friend?
I'd give anything. He wasn't just a friend.
Okay. Then we're breaking her out.
Here's the thing. Breaking her out on a ship out at sea doesn't seem like a good idea. For obvious reasons. Unless I look at Rhinewin.
Blank, blank, blank.
We're kind of in your neck of the woods here in the middle of the ocean.
Yep.
Is there a way, I hate suggesting this on this crew with people who are nice now that I know some of them, is there a way to get your god to sort of make a storm so we can make it look like this drow has been thrown overboard, vanished? Could we fake her death at sea?
Well, Rhinewin cocks her head to one side and says, well, kind of doesn't work like that. I have a connection, but I can't command storms. It doesn't listen to me. It referring to the deity. But
because we don't have long, and I feel like when we get to port, there may be more guards waiting for us.
Yeah, and we're probably going to lose. Yep.
But, and she holds her hand up for a second. I could make it look like there's a storm, and we could sabotage the ship.
Interesting.
And you know that you're about only maybe 10, 11 hours of smooth sailing from shore.
We should do this in the dark here. There's a lot of what is the crew? What is the racial makeup of the crew? I can't believe I just said
varied.
that.
I mean, it's quite varied. While you don't often see gnomes, you've seen at least 3 or 4 in the crew. Some half.
I'll make it easier. I'll make it easier. How many people with the crew how many people on the crew would have dark vision?
A fair number of them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The way I see it, though, if we get off of this boat on one of the life rafts, they'll still probably catch up to us on with full sails. Just not a lot.
No, not a life raft. Rhinewin, you kept us afloat in the water itself.
I don't know if I could do that for 8 people.
You don't have to do it with all of us, just with her. And I point to the drow.
And Rhinewin and Ormia would definitely know. Just, having so much experience, Rhinewin much more so on a ship. The ocean's a huge place. Once you're out of visual sight, you're really not going to be able to find someone out in the ocean on a little rowboat or whatever. It's getting out of sight that's a tricky part, out of like looking glass, sight. And when it's dark, looking glasses aren't really going to help.
And if it's foggy, it'll be worse.
Or if you don't have any looking glasses to use. So many options.
All of the above?
So, if we're gonna do this, Rhinewin says, I need some time to commune with the spirit of the ocean and prepare, because she doesn't have the right spells prepared basically right now. I didn't anticipate faking a storm. So I mean, I could just say, yeah, I had those spells prepared all along, but no, I didn't.
Well, it doesn't take long to prepare a spell. It's just like a minute per level of each spell that you want to change.
Yeah.
So we could.
Since the Drow's life is on the line, she may have some thoughts on the matter.
Oh, yeah.
She gives a bit of a chuckle, like, just amused by Emil's, like, hey. And she, clearly being a very stealthy, stealth-minded individual, she's tactical, sort of says, look, if you're telling me it's dark, if you can get me out of here, get me on a boat and get me past anyone's vision, normal vision, they're not going to find me. If you say you have someone who can help get me to shore after that, that sounds perfect. As long as the rest of you are found maybe in your cabins or something, I don't think they're going to suspect you. But you may want to be prepared just in case. Have an alibi. Be seen. Your lives are on the line as much as mine, though, so do what you will.
Plus, we don't have to sink the whole ship, says Ryan with a note of disappointment.
I prefer not to sink the ship because we're still half a day away from port. And like you said, you can't help everybody. So let's keep it afloat.
Okay. And yeah, I don't have to use a rowboat, so.
And they already know that the guards aren't doing their job. So that wouldn't be that hard to sell that part.
Maybe, I don't, well, no, that wouldn't really help anything at all.
We can be pretty certain they have a crew manifest, right? Sorry, passenger manifest, right, Dan?
You'd imagine so. Mm-hmm. You had the supplier papers.
Yeah. Because she came like last minute and it was really shady that they stayed that long if it was something that was illegal. So if they wanted to get her into the city, they wouldn't necessarily put her on a manifest.
Mm-hmm. But we basically all have to be present by the time we disembark.
Random aside, because I was gone for a long time after break, did we ever find out about those two figures that paid extra to come on the boat?
Nope. But you are about to, because as you're discussing this, from a cell about 2 down, you see, you hear a little rustle, clink, clink, and with a face smushed in between the bars, no. It's you. You see...
Is it Ren and Ayla?
Yep. You see Ren standing there. Of all the people to run into.
Oh, God.
He starts laughing. You see Ayler, though, laying on a bench, not looking too hot, looking very sickly, laid out on like a cot behind there. Ren opens the door. Apparently, these are his accommodations. He's not locked in there. And comes over to greet you. And that's where we'll end tonight's session, since it's
Nice.
Dang it, I have one more thing I wanted to ask her.
Well,
Write it down. Write it
given
down.
her character, she probably wouldn't tell you unless she was not chained.
Yeah.
Neat. Woo! Exciting.
Yeah, that was exciting.
Cool. Well,
I'm a little disappointed about the not sinking the ship. Not gonna lie, but.
Oh, that's so great. That would be epic.
But we got to sneak around.
Yeah.
Very true.
Very true. And I didn't.
Neat. Yeah, hopefully next. I always feel awkward, not awkward, but I hope I don't let down Steph and Melissa. I hope that, I'll be happy to have them back next week so they can make up their own questions and stuff. um, yeah. Oh, hey, cool. We've got some other new people. Cool Viet, thank you, and everyone chatting it up here. This is great. You guys are hilarious. um, if you guys want, if you're interested for viewers, I can't do the command. Can someone in chat type in !YouTube if you don't mind? I'm sorry, I'm not signed in. I guess that's a bad thing. Thank you. So we upload our episodes typically the next day to YouTube, and this is only episode 4. So if you're interested in catching up on what's happened thus far, you can find them on that YouTube page. Feel free to subscribe and like, share, that good stuff if you feel inclined to. Chat, do you have any questions for us as we wrap up? Mind you, any players that need to leave because it's dark 30, please feel free to. I don't want to tie anyone here if you have to go. Completely get it. Otherwise, chat, feel free to ask any questions, characters, the world, any of that. We stream every Friday night from 10 p.m. Eastern to 1 a.m. or dark 30 for Beth.
Or from dark 30 to dark 30.
Yeah. All right, looks like not too much tonight, so I guess we'll wrap it up. But thank you very much for watching. Thank you, players. Amazing as always. Thank you so much. You guys are great. You always surprise me with stuff. My pleasure. All
I'm
right.
still waiting for you to let me roll my dice.
Sorry, it'll be a long wait.
You're not sorry. You're not sorry at all.
Well, I feel bad that you feel bad, but if that counts, yeah.
Ooh, look, we got a hashtag, you guys.
Is it friendly yet? Nice. Love it, Dark Searchman. I hope you all have a great night and or morning, as in Beth's case. And we will we'll catch you all next week. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Good night.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Nice.